Speedway Anywhere
on Blog Talk Radio
/Speedway Anywhere with your crew chief, Q.
Hey folks, I'm back. 2 weeks in a row now. That hasn't happened since September of last year. So, hey, I'm here. Coming off Roval weekend and covered Talladega the previous weekend. So that means something great. That means that the super speedway races are done for the year. And that also means that the road courses are done for the year. Now, I know there's a lot of fans of that type of racing. Choose either one, road course, super speedway. I'm not a fan of either one. It's just not real racing to me. But hey, if that's what you're into, more power to you. There's plenty of it. So, and it doesn't hurt to change it up once in a while, but to go from a super speedway to a road course track, I get a little bored. But not that they didn't provide for some excitement. And I don't know which subject to cover first, whether to go with the controversy of the finish in the Xfinity Series at the Roval, or the controversy of the penalty that really shook up the playoff standings for the Cup Series at the Roval. So, but I don't have a show of hands here to tell me which one to go with first. So I'm the only hand, and I'm going to go with the Roval Xfinity Series race. Now, the finish of the race was so exciting, shaping up after that caution that came out with 14 laps to go. I mean, you had three guys to fight for that final spot to transfer into the top 8. You had Sam Mayer, you had Parker Kligerman, and you had SVG. So they duked it out, and what looked like was going to be Parker Kligerman, and the controversy whether or not the caution light came on before or after he took the white flag is irrelevant to me, because, okay, the reason that the caution light had to come out was because Leland Honeyman buried himself like 6 feet freaking under the tire barrier. But by the time that the caution actually came out, I mean, he was buried so far deep, I bet you he started to decompose. It had been so long. I mean, at least rigor mortis set in or something. Okay, enough of the morbid stuff, but you gotta admit. But yeah, it was upwards of 20 seconds that it took them before they actually threw the caution. So, you know, and everyone, when Kligerman went across the start-finish line, they're fist pumping and everything down on his pit box, thinking they got this thing won and he's going to transfer to the top 8. Lo and behold, NASCAR did what NASCAR does and says, you know, nope, shake it up. And like I said, my point is not about whether or not he crossed the start-finish line to take the white flag before the caution. My point is, it took them forever to throw that caution. At least that would have saved a lot of heartbreak for Parker Kligerman. So anyways, they re-racked the field for the green-white checker finish. Kligerman could not hold off the charge by Sam Mayer. And Sam Mayer, who screwed up the initial start of the race and had to do a pass-through penalty, made his way up through the field, and he was able to make it past Kligerman on the finishing laps after for the green-white checkered. I'm trying to organize my thoughts, and I should probably look at the prompter once in a while, but I haven't. So, but yeah, I mean, SVG, his crew chief made a really bad mistake because, Mayer and Kligerman had both stopped and got tires when that caution came out. And they kept SVG out there thinking that he could do the thing. And his crew chief has only been on the box for a couple weeks because his original crew chief left. I believe he's going to went to another team. So, but it didn't prove to be true about SVG being able to hold off the field because Kligerman got by him to take the lead. And then a hard-charging Sam Mayer was right there to lurking in the shadows of Kligerman to get by him on the final restart. So out of the three, Mayer ended up being the one that transferred into the top 8 and ended up big-time heartbreak for Kligerman. Would have been his first Busch Series win. He has won in the Truck Series. But, yeah, he's done at the end of this year, too. I think I mentioned that last week, that he won't be back at least full-time. He's still got his NBC gig and all that. Maybe that's why he was so mellow in the post-race interview, because he didn't want to be too incorrect, as a part of a broadcast crew and that image that he has to uphold on that end. But the look on his face and the tone of his voice told the story. So, also, another thing, last week I wanted to clarify something. I said that I'm guessing that Justin Allgaier had the most stage wins in the Xfinity Series. That did prove to be true because he had 14 stage wins going into Saturday, and he came out with another one. He now has 15 stage wins. I mean, you can pretty much say that he's going to have the most for the whole year because the closest one to him is Chandler Smith with 7. So Smith has less than half of what Allgaier has. So you can engrave the trophy on that, or the plaque maybe, on that one, but Chandler Smith would have to really create some miracles. He'd have to win like every stage and race from here on out to surpass Justin Allgaier. So hats off to Allgaier though, because it was kind of on and off again whether or not he was going to advance to the round of 8. But he did. And so, as you can see up here, Justin Allgaier goes in first seeded for the next round of the playoffs. So, yeah, Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, Austin Hill, Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, AJ Allmendinger, and then the last transfer spot goes to Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith was the only one locked in to go into the 8th round, or round of 8. I should be reading the script, but who cares? I don't have that here yet. I said that in the last show. But yeah, let's just say that there's no surprises in that top 8. There might be some surprises in who was eliminated, because this was supposed to be Shane Van Gisbergen's chance to shine and advance to the top 8. And a lot of fellow podcasters, they said that that this will be great for SVG, but his points going into this race weren't enough. It put him into a must-win situation, and he did everything but. So yeah, but Shane Van Gisbergen, Sheldon Creed, Riley Herbst, and then Parker Kligerman were the 4 eliminated out of the top 12. So, Out of all them, I think be it Sheldon Creed, Riley Herbst, and maybe even Parker Kligerman could steal a win in these next 3 races, if not even the final at Phoenix. Just steal a little bit of the thunder from the actual playoff contenders. So I know I want to say way more about the Xfinity Series, but I don't want to make this show too long like I did last week. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to the Cup Series. And the Cup Series playoff standings got really shaken up when Alex Bowman's car didn't make weight in post-race inspection. And I don't understand how a car can pass pre-race inspection and then not post-race. But there was a wreck, not really a wreck, but a pretty hard knock to the wall that may have, what they said, the tungsten weight may have came off the car when that happened. But we won't know until they tear it down at Hendrick and find out why the car failed post-race inspection. And they will be appealing, but those kind of appeals never get won. It just, they're entitled to it, but I can count on probably 3 fingers how many appeals have actually succeeded. So, Austin Dillon even tried to get his win upheld in appeals to advance to the playoffs. Well, they gave him the win. They didn't give him the spot in the playoffs, and he would have been eliminated in the first round anyway, based on his performance. So, and also last week I said that there was 19 winners, I said there were 17 winners in the Cup Series in total, if you consider Ty Gibbs in the All-Star race and Austin Dillon's win that got disqualified. That actually would have been 18, and then 19 total, including the aforementioned Ty Gibbs. So, but yeah, the points, the important part. Kyle Larson comes in first seeded in the round of 8. Then Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and then the 8th spot went to Logano after Alex Bowman was disqualified. Logano, of course, at the end of the race originally, he was eliminated. And which, to have Logano eliminated would really surprise me. And for Alex Bowman and the other 3, which was Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, and Daniel Suarez, to be eliminated before the top 8 didn't surprise me. Also, it's a good thing I'm not a betting man, because I had them eliminated in the round of 16. So, they fought the fight and made it into the round of 12. Pardon me. And went ahead and had some fun in that round of 12. So. What else we got to look at? I wanted to look at a little bit of the results for the Cup race. We got the top 10 here, which Kyle Larson obviously ran away with it. And then William Byron, Austin Cindric made it into the top 5, but still wasn't good enough to advance into the next round. And then the 5th place went to Chase Elliott. And I'm also not a betting man, but just for fun, people asked, who's your pick? And, Chase Elliott, he's strong on road courses. He got his first win ever in Cup on a road course at Watkins. So, but yeah, then Roadstar ace AJ Allmendinger was in the car for the Roval in the Cup Series, and he took 6th. SVG took 7th, so another road course ringer. So that's 2 guys that are normal Xfinity drivers. Finished 6th and 7th. And then Joey Logano finished 8th, which wasn't going to be enough, but now it is. And then good old Darrell Wallace Jr., Bubba, finished 9th. And then Ryan Blaney, last year's champion, rounded up the top 10. And that put Alex Bowman dead last in 38th after he was disqualified. So, you know, that's the way the rule book works. You fail, you lose. If 3 cars fail, well, they put them in their finishing order. They could be 36th, 37th, and 38th. Well, when it's 38 cars, or 38th, 39th, and 40th when they have a full field of 40, and that almost never happens. So I'm looking forward, though. You know, Vegas, Homestead, 2 of my favorite tracks, and then Martinsville, sometimes is, sometimes isn't. And then Phoenix, I'd rather the championship was back at Homestead, but that's a whole nother topic. So I wanted to take a look and refresh y'all on the Truck Series standings, even though they had the weekend off. So the Truck Playoff standings is all reset going into, they won't be back till Homestead. They will not be racing at Vegas. But yeah, Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski are your 4 that are above the cutoff line. And Christian Eckes is already a lock for the Final 4. So, you know, he ain't got nothing to sweat. He just gets to go out and have fun for Homestead and Martinsville. So, and then Rajat Karuth, Taylor Gray, I almost said Tanner, Nick Sanchez, and Tyler Ankrum are the ones that are going to be sweating a little bit for the next 2 truck races. So, no surprises really there in the Truck Series, although, you know, Matt Crafton didn't make it into the top 8. I think his career is, you know, coming to a close. Dude's been dominant in the Truck Series for so many years. And if he wants to hang up the helmet at the end of this year, I don't know what his deal is for next year, but, you know, he'll be celebrated, and if he decides to retire, and my hat's off to him. He's been one to be reckoned with, and Johnny Sauter will say the same thing, that's the guy that, you know, you aim to beat. So I think I covered pretty much everything. You know, what else are you saying? I don't want to make this show too long, but I wanted to show you up here some of the views from my studio here. It may look all clean cut and proper here, but once you see the true stage left, there's a whole mess of guitars and my mixer and all my music gear. You know, which is my other focus besides racing. And then you look over stage right is the computer and all the extracurricular music and podcasting gear. And then if you look upstage, you can see my bed in the background, covered in checkers, everything, with, of course, my view of the camera and lights and everything out in front of me. And then, of course, the good old backdrop is what it would really look like if I was not to learn my chroma key skills. And folks, I only started learning this stuff about 3 weeks ago. I've been through 3 different kinds of software, learned a lot about the lighting. I just happened to get a ring light that came with the green screen. I'm like, you know what? Since I don't have the sound baffles and everything to make the pretty checkered flag wall and all that like the old studio, I'm going to learn how to do this. And it's turned out pretty cool. And the software has way better sound quality, don't you think? So I'm going to cut it there. And next week I will be back for Vegas. And unless we get some earth-shattering results of Alex Bowman's appeal this week, I don't see that happening. But if we do, I will come back on and do a little update show. And there's a little bit of news lurking in the silly season, as they call it, too. So anyways, thanks for checking in. I hope you enjoyed Speedway Anywhere being back on the map, because I'm loving doing it. So thanks, folks.
Speedway Anywhere
On Blog Talk Radio.
your source for stock car, Indy car, or any car.
No matter how many wheels.